trying to reload here. It's looking like we're working. All right, we're just going to assume it's going. Welcome into the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my. What a price. What a shift in sentiment positive price can bring. You know, we haven't really broken out just yet. We are looking at a kind of a minor structural breakout that we're going to get into, but there's a narrative on Twitter from some dude that nobody's ever heard of, saying that Bitcoin's now going to $444,000 per coin. It was the prophecy that, you know, on Pi Day, we would have $84,000. He was right on that prophecy. So now people are saying, well, if he got that right, he's probably going to get his 400K target right as well. Let's just jump into the tweet here. I didn't find the original tweet, but Gladiator's been shilling this guy pretty hard. Excuse me. So 84K target acquired. Next up, 440K BTC and MSTR. This is coming from a dude named Josh Man right here. I haven't dove deep into his account yet, but basically he's a longtime stock operator. He's been trading the markets for many, many years. He's been waiting for an opportunity like what he says is about to happen to Bitcoin for the last 20 years. He thinks it's going to be an incredible run. I agree. You know, we've been maintaining a bullish bias here on the channel for a while. So I agree with that sentiment. It's just nice to see a narrative taking place. A narrative that has a high bullish target too. You know, me on the channel, I've been saying anywhere from like a $250,000 to 1.2 mil because Bitcoin is ridiculous and you need to have these ridiculous ranges. We don't target prices. We target actions in the market. A little bit different, but subscribe to the channel if you want to learn more. But this is kind of the more bullish target price objective that I've seen kind of developing into a narrative in the market so far. You know, 100K has obviously been a very achievable one. People have been talking about 200K, and a lot of people think that that's too high. I think it's ridiculous to think that that's too high. But yeah, 444,000 is one of the more bullish targets that the market is seemingly adopting and accepting. So interesting to see, you know, as the bull market continues, the prices go higher. So that is to be expected, I suppose. Oh, are we even streaming? We are not streaming too healthy here. How are we doing on health? Can I get a something in the chat saying that we're okay? Streaming on some shitty Wi-Fi here, so maybe I will switch Wi-Fi if it gets real bad. But yeah, let's take a look at the charts. Let's dive in here. So let's pull up Bitcoin. Bitcoin kind of broke out of this falling wedge formation. So this falling wedge, we had a breakout of the falling wedge on, you know, not crazy volume, but there is some volume in this general area. And coming down for a retest, kind of a sneaky little support / resistance flip that we're looking at here. I placed a limit order. The bot is already long. We are long on Bullbox, and we are long on alphanumerics. Sorry, not alphanumerics, on MRI swing box. So the bots are already long. I'm looking for a little bit of a liquidity test down here at around the $82,000, the $83,000 level. So yeah, we're looking good. We're looking good. I think that the negative sentiment shift is over. I think people at least feel that we have a short-term floor for now. Doesn't mean that we can't revisit the lows. Doesn't mean that we can't put in a technical new low, but we had extreme fear in the markets, fear as low as COVID level lows on the fear and greed index. So extreme fear. And whenever you have extreme fear, you usually get a pump after that. Why? Because everybody's already sold. If there's nobody left to sell, you can only go up because there's nobody left to sell. All right. So price targets I think if this holds true, if we're able to hold this level, we're not going to experience a ton of resistance until we get to the $90,000 level, with much more extreme resistance up around the $94,000 to $97,000 level. But yeah, if this is, let's kind of zoom out here and go to a higher time frame chart. Our bullish divergence is playing out here. For those that missed it, we had higher lows on the RSI, lower lows on the price. That is a bullish divergence on the daily. Those are usually quite strong, so I wouldn't be surprised to have us back up into this blue box. This blue box of resistance currently, we come up there and probably retest. We might get a rejection there, but we're at least coming up to here, in my opinion, based off of this structure, based off of the sentiment. Yeah. Let's turn alphanumerics on and see how we're doing there. So alphanumerics, we're back above the 200. We're back on top of the wave. Got our first close above the wave in the last couple days here, the last week, first close above the wave. And we're back on top of the 7. Now the 7 is still far below the 30 and the 50. So we do need price to clear the 30 and the 50 before we can get back into that kind of healthy range. And all of the moving averages as it stand right now are in bearish alignment, which means there is a lot of resistance up above us. There's a lot of stuff that we need to work through. But if we are, moving back to sentiment, because sentiment was so low and the overall narrative was that, that was it. That was the top. We're in a bear market. I think that the low is likely in, and we're going to see a little bit of repair to this chart. So I anticipate us to clear the 30. I anticipate us to clear the 50. And I think we're going to get a bullish cross with the 7 and the 30. So it hasn't happened yet. That's just my prediction. I anticipate that that will be the case, but yeah, it has not happened yet. So we need to wait for that. But we're long while we're waiting. We're long. If you guys haven't already set up your black box trading account, go to BLKBöX.pro, set up a free Bitcoin trading bot. It entered. Where did we enter here? MRI. Let's go to bots. Entry price at 83.2. So taking a look at that on that was basically the close, I believe. That was the daily close. No, it was lower than the close. So 70 to 73 is not in your forecast. 70 to 73. I mean, so let's zoom out here. We came down to this resistance, or sorry, support, this support line here. And when you have a support line, you don't need to touch it. So what I would be watching out for here on the weekly is this weekly candle has a lot to overcome. You can see this red weekly candle. It's nasty. It's a nasty weekly candle. Okay. It's going to serve as some resistance. We have the 30 on the daily. We have the 50 on the daily. We have overhead resistance up in that $92,000, $94,000 level. And we don't really clear all of that until we can close a weekly candle above 94.3. What is the open on this one? 94.3. So if we can close a weekly candle above 94.3, then the 70 to 73, that's off the table. It's done. But we came pretty close. We got to 77. The low here on the index chart was 76.7. So, you don't chop and change it too much. If 70 is kind of the target, we pretty much hit it. So, we're not out of the woods yet. I think the next 2 weeks, you're going to have to be actively monitoring the situation. You can't just leave things alone right now. But once we clear that level, once we clear this red bar on a weekly close, we're going to be looking a lot better. So 70 is not off the table, but in the short term, I believe that we're going to rally. I believe that we're going to rally. So if this closes here, you know, if we get a weekly close and it looks like this, there's not a shred of me that doesn't think it's possible that we come down for a liquidity test and come down and test that level again. And that would be even 75. So 70,000 is seeming less likely at this point, but that kind of upper to mid 70s level is still in the cards. Yeah, we're about to get across above the 50 here on the 4 hour. So we are heading back into bullish alignment on the 4 hour. If we hit bullish alignment on the 4 hour, it'll probably only be a few days to maybe a week until we're back in bullish alignment on the daily. When we're back in bullish alignment on the daily, we're pretty bullish. We're pretty bullish at that point. All right, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance. This is supposed to be Bitcoin dominance. And let's see how this rotation is taking place. So we're still climbing. We're still climbing. You know, longtime viewers of the channel know I have said numerous times, an annoying amount of times, it is not altcoin season. Contrary to what your favorite YouTuber has been banging on about for the last, 2 years, it is not altcoin season, and it has not been altcoin season. It's very simple. For those who are new to this chart, I'm sure many of you are not, so I apologize for being repetitive. When this chart is going up, you are not in altcoin season. It's just that simple. This is the only chart you need to pay attention to determine, are you in altcoin season? We have not been in altcoin season. If you are impressed with some of the altcoin gains that have been achieved in the market by certain altcoins, cool. But you haven't seen nothing yet. You have not seen nothing yet, because when the altcoin season comes, you are going to be shocked. You are going to be shocked. What are your thoughts on AI trading bots being capable of manipulation in market structure? So behind every bot is an operator. And with AI, that operator may be an artificial intelligence. In my experience, AI anything today is complete garbage. It's absolutely horrendous trash. If you're trading with an AI trading bot, turn it off because it's useless. One day that won't be the case. One day the AI traders will be good. But the thing about markets is there's buyers and there's sellers. If you have an AI trading bot that is bullish, you are going to have an opponent trading bot that is bearish. Nothing will change in the markets. There will be bullish bots and there will be bearish bots. And with AI, nothing's going to change. Every single time there is an opportunity in a market, an opportunity is exploited, whether it's an arbitrage opportunity, whether it's a long setup, whether it's a short setup, whether it's a liquidity grab, whether it's a stop loss hunt. Like any activity that happens in the market, somebody is capitalizing on that. And none of that will change when AI enters the scene. So in my opinion, it's a non-issue. It's a non-issue. AI won't matter. All right, so we're climbing. We're continuing to climb. I really thought that this candle right here was signaling a top, but it looks as though, because we're continuing to climb, it looks as though that's kind of the target now. So you could even kind of spread this range out a bit to encapsulate that target. And maybe you can kind of think of it like a gap fill. Sometimes wicks are filled. Not a lot of people talk about that, but it's often the case that if you come down and wick, it's either a reversal or it's just letting you know what the next level is, and then we come and we go and test that level. So as far as Bitcoin dominance is concerned, we could creep up to 64.5% in dominance, because really, you know, we have a new high, we have a new local high here on high time frame closes. It's a continuation. It's a continuation as long as as far as we're looking here right now. So yet again, I'm sad to report that it is not altcoin season. It is not altcoin season. Don't really trade. I just buy spot BTC and store it away. Then there's really nothing to worry about. I don't think the cycle's over. We have indicators in the market that are telling us to take profits. But my own bias as to where I think we are in this market is I don't think that we're over. You know, Wall Street didn't come in to this market to be a participant in the shittiest bull run that's ever happened. So if this bull run is over, that's the shittiest bull run that's ever happened. And I don't think Wall Street picked their moment in time to become a participant during the shittiest bull market that's ever happened. We got big players in the game now, so take with that information what you will. So yeah, that's Bitcoin dominance. Let's take a look at some of the major alts. Let's take a look at Cardano BTC. Lisa Smith, hey, what's up? What's going on? How's the stream going? It's going good. You tell me. How's it looking on Twitch? Cardano still consolidating. You know, we haven't broke out yet. This actually doesn't look like a too bad place to buy, really. But man, is this a picture perfect example as to why you don't invest in altcoins. Trade them, sure, why not? Whatever. Trade an altcoin, sure, because when you trade an altcoin you can get this, right? But you took this and you gave it all back. You haven't made any money in Cardano. You may think you've made money, but when you look at the US denominated return and then you factor in inflation, I would be hard pressed to believe that you've made nearly as much money as you've made with Bitcoin. I feel a lot of dumping is because of people's hate for Trump. Yeah, but the people who hate Trump are poor. The people who like Trump have money. Libs are poor. That's why they pander to the government to give them handouts. I'm going to try not to get too political. That burning Tesla narrative is quite hilarious to me. It's like, we hate Elon Musk, let's burn his cars. Yeah, you just sold 2 cars. He got 2 cars sold for his company for the price of 1. Or for the price of 2, actually. Because the person who bought the car, and then the insurance company bought the car again. So, like, you're just making him richer. That's Elon, not Trump. I guess they're one and the same now these days. Yeah, so Cardano coming down. It hasn't broken its downwards trend yet. I mean, you could make the argument here that this is a higher high. In fact, it is a higher high, but we haven't broken out. I'm going to get excited about Cardano when we're above 1400 sats. As it stands right now, we are not above 1400 sats. Once you get above 1400 sats, then things will likely accelerate in this manner, where you get a lot of real pumps. But again, altcoin season is short. Look at this. This was the altcoin season. This pump right here. How long was it? How long was it from the peak? It was 28 weeks, 196 days. So just over 6 months. Just over 6 months. Altcoin season is short. I cannot emphasize this enough. Altcoin season is short. Be prepared. Know what the fuck you're doing. This is a great opportunity to make money. This is the best opportunity to make money. And we've been very level-headed in our approach. We have been telling you the moment at which you can really capitalize on this market. And if you've been listening, you're heavy-weighted Bitcoin. You're like 90% Bitcoin. And if you're 90% Bitcoin, you are fucking laughing. You are laughing all the way to the bank because you are up 500%. And you have not lost 90% like all the altcoin, meme coin bullshit traders out there. Bitcoin, when Bitcoin dominance is climbing, you better be stacked Bitcoin. All right, let's take a look at Doge. Similar story over on Doge. We're back down at the lows. This will probably be an area of bounce. So if you're bullish on Doge, it's probably not a bad time to, take a probe position in Doge. But we could head lower too. We could head lower. We could go to, let's say, 150 sats per Doge. Is that possible? 150 sats is not likely, no. I would say 180. We could get to 180 sats. We're at 200 sats. That's kind of a nice number, 200 sats. It's okay to take a probe position in Doge, I think, for this upcoming bull run. And we might get up to, 600. Maybe even 1,000 sats per Doge. So that's still a good clip. All right, let's take a look at XRP, everybody's favorite fucking scam. People really don't like it when I talk shit about XRP. And it's nothing personal. And, a lot of my negativity towards XRP comes from the fact that it's just the antithesis of Bitcoin. I'm a trader. Don't hate it. Don't date it. Just trade it. It's fine. Okay. I'll be right here alongside you, rooting for this thing to go up when it goes, because it will go. When this goes, when we hit altcoin season, this thing's going to fucking rip. It's going to. It has too much of a narrative behind it. Too many fundamental things falling into play for it not to experience some price expansion. But at the end of the day, I am a hardcore Bitcoiner. I am a hardcore cypherpunk crypto anarchist Bitcoiner. So giving the banks anything, I'm fully against. And convincing all these people that XRP is the future, when the reality is that everything that XRP claims it can do, Bitcoin can actually do better. And that's just, I'm not even going to get into the arguments with that. Like, people are blind and they're going to see what they want to see. But the reality is everything XRP can do, Bitcoin can do and is doing. XRP isn't doing it, but Bitcoin is doing it better. But this shit's going to rip. This shit is going to rip, and we are getting ready to rip. This is kind of the Wyckoff last point before blast off. This is our sign of strength backup phase. If we transition into breaking out of this downward sloping channel here, it's gonna go. It's gonna go. As much as I hate this coin, it's gonna go. So yeah, be prepared for that, because it's gonna be the same too. You're looking at 6 months tops. I would actually be taking pretty heavy profits at around the 4-month mark. And when I say take profits, I mean take those profits into Bitcoin. Just consolidate your alts into Bitcoin. Then when you're convinced that the bull market's over, you only have one coin left to sell, and that's Bitcoin. So during a Bitcoin altcoin season, I take profits into Bitcoin. That way I'm not sitting in cash, because when you're sitting in cash, you can't help but want to deploy it into something else, or you feel bad that it's not making gains. When altcoins are in a bull market, Bitcoin's in a bull market. When Bitcoin's in a bull market, altcoins are in a bull market. So like, treat Bitcoin as your stable coin at that point, which is why we chart the BTC pairs. So you take the profits into Bitcoin, consolidate your portfolio into an easily actionable coin, which is Bitcoin. And then when you think the bull market's over, you flip the switch. You've already sold all your alts. They're sitting in Bitcoin. And now all you got to do is sell your Bitcoin. But always keep some Bitcoin, just some, because you never know. And if Bitcoin has taught us anything, it's that you never know. You never know what Bitcoin can do. So always keep some. Solana. Let's see. What do we got here on Solana? Let's take a look at the weekly. Dumpy little structure, not going to lie. Is kind of sitting at a support / resistance flip. You can see, I love to look for capitulation candles when identifying support and resistance. So you can see this capitulation candle right here. That to me represents an important support level to take note of. So I'm going to go from here and we're going to kind of open it up. You see the tail here, the supply tail here of this wick. We're going to go from kind of that point to that point, and this is kind of your support, and look at where we held. So we're holding here on support. So if we are to take off, if Solana takes off from here, that's going to be a very strong move. Very strong move. If it gets below this, well, now it has a very strong resistance to overcome, and that'll cause a little bit of a lag in its bullish structure. But if it bounces here, ooh, that's going to be bullish. Bullish. Currently sitting at 15,900 sats per SOL. Let's see what it looks like on alphanumerics. Everything's in bearish alignment. We're below the 7. The wave is red. A lot of bearish signs here as far as alphanumerics is concerned. So we have a lot of work to do if we are going to turn this around. Timing this stuff is tough. Timing this stuff is tough, which is why I don't typically try and time an alt. I just wait for Bitcoin to start making the market behave, and then I don't worry about my entries into an alt. I'll just look at the market and be like, all right, Bitcoin's in continuation. It's sparking off a bull run in altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is declining. We're showing signs that altcoin season is starting. I don't give a shit about the entries. I just rotate. Even if the entry's bad, I will still rotate. The coin I can't stand hearing about is Sui. Sui, let's take a look at Sui. That's what you meant, right? You wanted me to look at Sui? Actually, we got that on our list. What are we doing? It's actually, okay, so let's turn that back over to BTC and let's close that. Go over here. That's where all my drawings are. Let's take a look at Sui. If you listen to us, we told you this bearish retest would happen and that would be your graceful exit. If you took that graceful exit, nice move. As it stands right now, if we are below this orange line, we are bearish. Once we get above it, we are bullish. So what are we right now? We are bearish. Nothing to get excited about on Sui. Nothing to get excited about on Sui just yet. Not just yet. But it'll come. This one has, it's got quite a cult following, quite a narrative. And that will have an effect on price once the right conditions come. What are the right conditions? Say it with me. What are the right conditions? Bitcoin dominance in a decline. Good, you're learning. How's Litecoin? Let's take a look at Litecoin. The silver to Bitcoin's gold. Do I not have Litecoin on this list? I should. But I don't. So the thing about Litecoin is, this is a narrative coin. So when Bitcoin, it's also something you do not want to hold. Holy fuck, guys. Like, if you are a Litecoin bull, stop investing. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Look at this. It's never been at a lower price. It's never been at a lower price. I know you think it's at a higher price, but it's not. You have missed out on opportunity. Your profits have been taken away with inflation. This is the least valuable that Litecoin has ever been, even though the number's at a higher price. This is why it's so important. It is so important. Please, if you learn anything from this channel, please trade on the Bitcoin pair. Trade on the Bitcoin pair, because that is, why would you trade on the scam coin pair? The US dollar is a scam. It is being constantly devalued. Why are you measuring the value of something using something that has no value? What do you think has value? A piece of paper that governments can print at any point in time, or cryptographically sound energy denominated math? Which one has value? When you determine what you think, if you think US dollars have value, measure in US dollars. Okay. But if you think that Bitcoin has more value than US dollars, then just measure all of your decisions in that coin, and you will be so much further ahead. You will be so much further ahead. That's all you have to do. Don't look at Litecoin USD. Look at Litecoin BTC. This is a dumpster fire. It's absolutely atrocious, horrendous, disgusting. Makes me want to puke. If I held any, I would probably kill myself. But thank God I have foresight and understanding of how these markets work, so I'm not going to hold this thing with a fucking 10-foot pole. There's really nothing to report on this. Litecoin looks disgusting. That being said, like I said at the beginning of this analysis on Litecoin, it's a narrative. It's a narrative. And what happens to Bitcoin when Bitcoin's in a bull run? What happens to Bitcoin when ordinals are in a bull run? What happens to Bitcoin when rune coins are in a bull run? Fees go through the roof. Bitcoin fees get exceedingly expensive. They crank up to $20 per transaction to those who know how to use the Bitcoin network. And for people that don't understand how to use the Bitcoin network, they're paying $50, $60, $70 per transaction. I've seen it as high as $100, but those are people that just don't know what the fuck they're doing. The fees get crazy. And when Bitcoin has crazy fees, what is the narrative that takes place? Oh, you got to use Bitcoin Cash. Oh, you got to use Bitcoin Satoshi's Vision. Oh, you got to use Litecoin. All of these are far better than Bitcoin. It's so cheap. It's, pennies on the dollar to use Bitcoin. So Litecoin will absolutely have a rally. If Bitcoin is gaining in popularity, if Bitcoin is gaining transaction volume, fees are going to go up. As the fees go up, Litecoin's narrative takes hold. It sucks in all the new people. To them, it's a no-brainer. Why would I use the Bitcoin network when I can use the Litecoin network for pennies? It'll take off. It'll take off. But holding it, my God, horrendous. My heart pours out to anybody who's been a Litecoin investor. Let's take a look at Tron. So part of the interesting thing about what's going on with the US government and its adoption of crypto, and this is the part that not a lot of people are talking about, in my opinion, or not a lot of people are privy to this kind of speculation. The US, sorry, just let me put a range on here. The US is creating frameworks. The US is creating frameworks to allow for Tether to penetrate different markets globally. The largest purchaser of US treasuries is Tether. One of the largest purchasers of US treasuries is Tether. And the US knows this, obviously. You know who your best clients are, and you take care of your best clients, right? This is just normal business. And Trump is a businessman, so he's going to take care of his best clients. Not only that, we have an opportunity, or the US has an opportunity, to enter different markets without asking permission. They can create a dollarized nation, whether the government decides to dollarize or not. We have lots of dollarized nations in Latin America. You know, El Salvador is a dollarized nation. Their currency failed. They went to the US dollar, and now they use US dollars for currency. There's other countries in Africa that do the same. There's lots of countries that have become dollarized over the time, over, you know, the years as their currency has failed. And that's usually an arrangement. That's usually an arrangement with the IMF. It's usually the government declaring, okay, our currency's failed. We're going to move over and start using US dollars, whatever the case may be. But with Tether, you now have the opportunity for citizens to just choose the currency that they want to use with blockchain technology. They can just start using the US dollar in the form of Tether. So it's kind of a stealth CBDC. It's a stealth central bank digital currency. It's not technically a central bank digital currency because it's not directly coming from the central bank, but it still holds the same functionality. It holds the same purpose, and it'll be used for the same things. Why I'm interested in Tron is most of the Tether in the world lives on the Tron blockchain. I think it's something crazy, like 60% of Tether exists on the Tron blockchain. I don't quote me on that. In fact, find out the actual figure and share it in the Discord, or share it here if you know the actual figure as to how much Tether is on Tron, but it's the majority. The majority of Tether exists on the Tron network, and nobody talks about Tron. Nobody talks about Tron. Now, if the US is really going to get favorable towards USDT, which I think they will because they are incentivized to do so, then Tron, in theory, is going to become a very valuable blockchain. So keep an eye out on Tron. I think Tron is one to watch. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, this is a long-term accumulation. This accumulation has been going on for 2,000 days. You know what? Let's do a quick point and figure chart on this. Let's do a point and figure on this, because this will be surprising. I apologize for those who know what's involved in a point and figure chart, because we're going to do some math here, but I'm curious. I'm curious to the point at which I'm not going to do this offline. I'm going to do this live. So we're going to come up with some price objectives for Tron based off of its accumulation using the point and figure chart, which is this weird X and O pattern. So provided that we were to break out today, so whatever we determine now will actually be the more conservative price, because if we continue to trade sideways, the counts get higher and we can go higher. So we have 262 bars, 262 columns here inside of this accumulation so far. What is the, let me see here. ATR, let's go traditional because it's too small. It's so small. Okay, let's do it on the dollar pair. We got to do it on the dollar pair. TRX USD. I know I said don't chart the dollar pair, but I think we have to for math's sake. $0.22. So that's 0.0022. 0.0022. Let's bust out the old calculator here. And 262 columns times 0.0022 equals 57 cents times 3 gives us $1.72 from the highs. $1.72 from the highs. So that means the more bullish target here go back over to candles for a moment. So that can bring Tron up to $2 a coin, currently sitting at 20 cents. So that's a 10x. That's a 10x on Tron. And I wouldn't be surprised if it can do a 10x on the Bitcoin pair as well. So yeah, that's Tron. Add Tron to your watch list. Add Tron to your watch list. I think that one's a sleeper. I think people are underestimating that one. And I think if you believe in the fundamentals of Tether, then you believe in this setup, this fundamental setup. Just add that one to the watch list because not a lot of people talking about that. And they're not going anywhere. Tron's been around a long time. Has ETH BTC bottomed yet? Probably not. ETH is the king of the shit coins. Oh man. My most bearish call in the market was ETH at 3 million, and people hated me for that. They hated me for that. They thought I was ridiculous, retarded, absolutely just the stupidest person on YouTube for saying that ETH could get to 3 million sats, and now we're at 2 million sats. It just keeps going down. I mean, it's horrendous. I at this point, it's going to the lows. At this point, it's just going to the lows. There's no way around it. It's going to the lows. So you're looking at somewhere in this range. So anywhere from 1.6 million sats per ETH to 2 million sats per ETH. There's nothing slowing this thing down. This thing is dying. It is dying. It's astonishing. I was impressed when we reached my target. I was impressed with how terribly Ethereum had performed when we reached my target. And this is surprising. This is honestly surprising. I did not expect it. Like, this is... ETH will never recover from this. No. Let me define what I mean by that. ETH is dead. It will have a bull run. It will have a bull run. Okay. There will, if we have an altcoin season, Ethereum is going to be a part of that altcoin season. Let me just get that out of the way right now. But this performance has shown us that Ethereum just loses all of its value compared to Bitcoin. What it does is every bull market, it rises, and every bear market, it comes down to the lows. Which means it's always playing catch up. It's never actually leading. It doesn't have an uptrend. Therefore, the development interest is going to slow down. It's just never going to recover. It's in a downtrend. When we have a bull market in ETH, I don't think we're going to make a new high on Bitcoin, on the Bitcoin pair. What I think is likely to occur is, let's say we come down here for some sort of a double bottom. We break out, we get our move once we break this downtrend that we've been talking about. And then we'll come up somewhere in here. I think we come up somewhere in here. And then we get a rejection and we come back down. If this plays out, if we do not make a higher high than the prior cycle, final nail in the coffin. Final nail in the coffin. ETH is dead. There's fundamental reasons for this. There are speculative reasons for this. But there are also theoretical reasons for this. Theoretical is the wrong word. There are, we'll call it fundamentals. ETH had a pre-mine, 80% pre-mine. This proves to the market that a pre-mine doesn't work. If this plays out, a pre-mine doesn't work. You know why? Because free money makes it worth nothing. The reason Bitcoin is special is there was no free money. Every Bitcoin on the face of the earth today was mined. Every Bitcoin had a computer hashing the SHA-256 algorithm to mine those Bitcoins. Every single one was mined. If Ethereum did that, if Ethereum did all of that, if every Ethereum in existence was mined, because they started out with mining, it was only at the top here that it went to proof of mistake and killed itself. When Ethereum was a mining coin, they in theory did not need a pre-mine. You don't need a pre-mine, but they did it anyways, and this is the result. So let that be a lesson to the market. Proof of stake has no value. Proof of stake is the system that we have today with fiat currencies. Proof of stake is what we are fighting against. Proof of stake makes wealthy people more wealthy for no reason other than the fact that they are wealthy. They do not provide a service to the market other than being wealthy, and being wealthy is not a service. Proof of work means you worked, and when you work in this market, you are rewarded for your work. It's really that simple. I do not support proof of stake blockchains because proof of stake is just wealthy fat cats scamming you. I support proof of work because I believe that if you work, you should be rewarded. It's dying because Solana is taking all of its leverage. Yeah. Ethereum forgot. Ethereum was never fully aware of what they were. That's the thing about Ethereum. Like the hardcore Ethereum heads think that Ethereum is a very sound monetary policy. Like the hardcore ETH heads think that Ethereum is a monetary policy. And it's not. Ethereum was an altcoin casino. It was a shitcoin casino. It was a way to produce tokens, to dupe investors, make speculations, and make a bunch of money. That's what it was. And that's what Solana is and continues to be. The reason that Solana is the most adopted blockchain is because it has the highest level of degeneracy and gambling. So when you come to this market, you are one of two people. You're somebody who's looking to save money, or you're somebody who's looking to gamble. And if you're looking to save money, you go to Bitcoin. You don't go to ETH. You go to Bitcoin because that's how you save money. And if you're looking to gamble, well, you go to where the fucking degeneracy is happening. And this cycle, that's Solana. It's Solana, which is why Solana has been doing so well and why Ethereum is doing this. Ethereum is just going down only. There isn't even a bounce to like get out. It's just down only. Really sad. Really sad state of affairs for Ethereum. So I don't know. I'm not going to get any follows or subscriptions with that monologue, but it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, what else can we look at? Let's look at something nice. Why don't we take a look at TAP? Now, the chart's horrendous. Let's just start off there. The chart is horrendous. Okay, it's a piece of shit as it stands right now. The reason I'm bringing it up is, you know, the TAP protocol is bringing DeFi to Bitcoin, so that, you know, if Ethereum's only kind of claim to fame right now, or their last stitch effort is, oh, well, we have smart contracts and we're going to be the financial layer of the internet, blah, 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 blah. Well, you know, it's not like people aren't trying to do that on Bitcoin, and it's not like people haven't actually set up stuff that works on Bitcoin. If you guys haven't already checked it out, let's go over to swap.taparoo. I mean, the liquidity is not there, you know, credit where credit is due. This is not great. But this is on Bitcoin. This is on Bitcoin. You have a Uniswap on Bitcoin. This was not possible before. DeFi was not possible on Bitcoin. This is the Bitcoin network. This is DeFi. So you know, it's just more of the fact that, you know, what people say is often a narrative. It's a narrative that people come up with. You know, look at all these altcoins being minted on this is a market of altcoins on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has smart contracts. Bitcoin has alts. Bitcoin will have, in my opinion, the same level of degeneracy and volume and transaction throughput as Solana. That's not the case right now. That'll probably be the case next cycle. Maybe. It could happen this cycle, or at least a fraction of it. Solana is the king. Solana is the king this cycle. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Solana is the king this cycle. But it's not like the products that make Solana aren't being tried and developed on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin has the added advantage of having a coin that you can save in. You can't save in Solana. You can't save in Ethereum. So if you want to exist in that ecosystem, you eventually have to move out of the ecosystem. Eventually, you have to move out. But if you bring all of the stuff that's exciting and you bring it into Bitcoin, well, now you can do all the exciting things on Bitcoin and you don't have to leave because you're still native Bitcoin. So you can save. That's going to take a while for the market to warm up to. Okay. I'm not going to stand here and say that, you know, tap is going to be the biggest thing this cycle. I think that's unreasonable, but I think we might get a fraction of it. We might get 5 to 10% of the transaction volume of Solana this cycle on Tap protocol on the Bitcoin network. I think that that's achievable, but yeah, it's anyways, long story short, DeFi on Bitcoin exists. It's here today. People aren't pricing it in. Ultrasound money, bro. Yeah. The bat signal. I don't even remember what the bat signal meant. Okay, some fun crap. Mog, Mystery, and Pepe. Sure, why not? Then we'll wrap it up. Once we start getting into the degen meme coins, we know it's time to wrap it up. I can guarantee I'm close to an hour just by that comment. Let's see. Where am I sitting at? 52 minutes. Yeah, we're getting close. Mog. Meme coins took a hit, man. Meme coins took the biggest hit, which is not a surprise because meme coins don't have any value whatsoever. 91% down. A meme coin is literally just a game. It's gambling. It's a game. You can play the game, and there are many people who are good at the game. Don't get me wrong. There are people who are good at the game. But the game is, I'm going to buy cheap and I'm going to sell it to an idiot for more. It's the game of the greater fool. It's a game. It can be played. But what that game relies on is positive sentiment and high transaction volumes. So once we have positive sentiment again, and once we get high transaction volumes again, and once we get new liquidity, aka dumb money, we need dumb money coming in. If you were dumb money, that's okay. Every person who is smart money was once dumb money. It's entirely up to you how long you want to be dumb money. But if you want to be smart money, all you need to do is identify dumb money. And when you identify, and this is the purest form of smart money versus dumb money. The thing you need to be careful about meme coins is you're probably still dumb. There are a lot of insiders, real sophisticated OGs, developers, insiders that are playing this game on an entirely different level than you. If you're just, finding contracts, contract addresses and hoping, you're still dumb money. If you're organizing pump and dumps, if you're organizing insiders trading, if you are creating sniping bots and you're much more nuanced, you've made a fucking killing. You've made a killing, because that's what this market is. It's a, you know, especially when you get into the memes, it's just predators, man. Predators everywhere that you can look. You are prey. So be careful out there. I'm not saying you can't make money, but you got to make sure that you're getting in at the right times, meaning there's high transaction volume and you're getting in without greed, or you're getting out without greedy targets. You got to, because the risk is too high. You got to get in, make your money, get out, and don't ever fucking hold these things long term. So that's MOG. Mystery. I haven't even heard of this one. This one seems to be bottoming. MOG looked like a fucking train wreck. Pardon my French. But Mystery's got a double bottom on our hands. I don't know much about Mystery. Let's see what Mystery looks like on... Let's see what that looks like. Okay. All right. Yeah, so this is a perfect example of insider trading, right? As soon as it was available to the public, the insiders sold, and that's why it's down here. So the insiders organized, they got the tokens early, then it launched, and when it launched, the people on the inside were at 100x, and they sold. Why? Because they know that the other insiders that they are inside with we're going to sell. So they need to sell before the other insiders, and they hold all the fucking tokens. So, yeah, it's down here, you know, it's narrative driven. This will not go up unless Bitcoin dominance is falling. So just mark, you know, watch the Bitcoin dominance chart. That's going to be key. Pivotal. Pepe. Which Pepe? I'm going to go with the mainstream Pepe, even though it's the shitty Pepe. We got our own Pepe. We got our BRC20 Pepe. Yeah, I wouldn't touch Pepe, honestly. Even given this structure, I'm not saying it can't go up, but given this structure, you know, insiders were selling here. Insiders were selling here. Insiders were selling here. So the question is, where are the insiders going to sell next? How do you know? Who are the insiders? How do you figure it out? How do you know when it's right? Because when they sell, there's no graceful exit. It's just a plummet. There's no graceful exit. So timing this shit, fuck, it's not even worth it, in my opinion. It's not worth it because the amount of risk you can put on something like this, you have to position size so small that even if you got it right, the gains are so small because you can only put a little position size on. I just personally prefer to go really heavy on things that have a chance and things that aren't manipulated, as opposed to, you know, diversifying over 100 fucking gambles and, you know, doing the venture capital approach where you put $100 in everything and see what fucking... No, I would rather just go with the shit that I know it's going to work. Solana is going to work. I know Solana is going to work. If we go into an altcoin season, Solana is probably going to do a 10 to 20x. Go heavy on a 10 to 20x instead of trying to get one 100x or one 1000x with $100. It's a waste of your time, energy, and everything. It's just a waste. All right, we gotta round things off. Happy. How are we doing over here? Looks like we might not get filled. The bots are running. The bots are long. So if you're in the bot, you're good. If you guys haven't already set up your Bitcoin trading bot, just go to blackbox.pro. Let me show you blackbox.pro. It's in the link, but go check out blackbox.pro. Once you've set up an account and logged into your dashboard, click the Join Discord tab down here. That'll get you instant access into the Discord as a verified member. And then, yeah, we can chat about all these setups, all this good stuff. But yeah, go to blackbox.pro first, set up a free account. Everything's free. We don't take any money from you. If anybody approaches you in the Discord or via email or anything asking for money, it's a scam. We don't take any money. We work with the exchange and we provide the services for free to you. So that's how we get paid. No, if anybody's soliciting anything from you, it's a scam. But yeah, Bitcoin's looking good, looking like we're getting a retest. Might break out in the next couple hours here. Bitcoin dominance continuing to climb, so watch out for that. We're probably going to close this weekly candle as a new highly weekly candle, which will mean that we climb to new higher levels beyond that. I would be targeting up here at around 64% before a turnaround. So just wait for that trend shift. We're so close. We are so close. I'm telling you, altcoin season is around the corner. It is a month or two away. We have been saying wait for years now. And if you have listened to that, you are sitting pretty in a very strong Bitcoin position. Everybody else is 90% down. You are sitting pretty ready to dominate this market. So yeah, we're getting really close. We're getting really close. Yeah, that's it. We'll close things out there. So if you guys enjoyed this content, please leave it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to check out blackbox.pro and set up your free Bitcoin trading account today. And until next time, please trade safe. It is jungle out there. Peace.